Okay, so we've just made a determination about how we're going to split up a school based on the site plan into different groups of buildings and figuring out how many floors there are in each of these different building groups. And now, what I want to show is how you go about setting that up within Hive Manager. So, um, what we have to do now is go across to Maps. And in this case, we're working on Lake Worth High. So you'll see that we currently don't have a hierarchy here. So if you looked at Jupiter High, we got all kinds of buildings, and within a building, we got multiple floors. We don't have that for Lake Worth High, so we're ready to start creating our hierarchy. So you're going to right click over that, and you're going to add a building. Um, First building is building. In fact, I remember now. You have to neatly name this. Okay, so we got Lakewood High School buildings 2, 3. The next one is going to be a building Lakeworth High School buildings. Okay, should have been 7 and 8. Okay. Now I'm not going to exhaustively go through this for all the buildings at Lakeworth High School. This is just to kind of show you how to do it. So what we're going to do now that we've created a building is we're going to add a floor. And with that, you don't have to uniquely name these, so you can just call it, well, to be honest, you can just call it first. It's probably the simplest thing. Now, I'll come back in a little while and show you how you actually completely define a floor, because one of the things you want to do is you want to associate a bitmap as a background image and then actually scale it. But for now, we're just going to create the first, second, and third floors for buildings 2 and 3. One of the things you'll notice there, which is a little bit um, off, is the fact that it's actually organized them in reverse order, apparently seeming to prefer the most recently created and to put that one at the top. We don't have any 10-story buildings, so I don't think that's a big deal. If you're looking for the third or the second or the first. Okay. So what we'll do now is we'll move on to looking at what you do in order to generate the bitmaps. Now, you're going to need a good piece of screen capture software. I don't use Windows, and I know that Snipping Tool is available on Windows 7 and above, and so you're going to have to familiarize yourself with Snipping Tool. So let's look at what we would do to get the bitmap for buildings 2 and 3 first floor. So we'd go over to the PDF. We have to drag up to it. And what you want to actually do is get the biggest view you can of the part that you want to map. So you're going to have to zoom to some extent. So I want buildings 2 and 3, which are over on this left-hand side. So I'm going to zoom in. It looks like I can zoom in again. So I'm actually going to view the toolbar. I'm actually working from a laptop, which is not ideal here. So we're currently at 100. So I would potentially go to 125. And I've still got buildings 2 and 3 looking quite decent. Let's go 150. And what I'm going to do is get rid of the toolbar actually. So I'm at 150 zoom. And let me try and manipulate this. Okay, so this is, if you'll see, I've got buildings 2 and 3 filling up the screen to the largest extent possible. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my snipping tool, which on Linux is called Shutter. And I'm going to do a selection. Not sure how this is going to come out in a screen video, but I'm going to select, and I'm selecting quite close around the buildings. Okay. This brings it back into my screenshot software. And in my case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this. So I'm going to screenshot rename Lakeworth High School building 2-3 first, so that I can remember what it's for. Okay. The next thing that you have to do is you have to come up with an estimate for how wide this bitmap is in feet. It doesn't have to be super accurate, it just has to be approximate. I mean, I guess if you're within 10 or 20%, that would be good enough. So what I would typically do is come over to my browser and go into Maps, Google Maps. Go to Lakeworth High School. And it looks like this is the buildings are in the bottom left corner here. So I'm going to zoom in. And what I actually do is if you look down the bottom here, the 200-foot scale, and this seems to be buildings 2 and 3 here in the bottom left corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this down to put it close to the scale. And it's more or less telling me that it's just about 200 feet from the top to the bottom of the of this building here, 200 feet. So I take a 45-degree angle across, and I'm going to estimate that this is about 230 feet wide, this graphic. So now I'm going to actually import this file into Hive Manager. So I'm here looking at the maps, Lakeworth High School buildings 2 and 3, first floor. I'm going to right click on that and I'm going to edit. I'm going to import, in fact, I've forgotten something, I'll cancel first. I'm going to right click here, in fact, operations. I'm going to add delete image. I want to upload an image. I'm going to look for pictures. It's my Lakeworth High School picture. I'm going to import it. I would probably have done screenshots for all of the buildings and floors and import them all at once, but this is just an example. Now I'm going to edit for the first floor. I'm going to put in the background image. I'm going to hit L to get down. And it's kind of funny here, we got some Lakeworth stuff here already, middle school. So I'm looking for LWS, so here is Lakeworth High School, buildings 2 and 3 first. I'm going to change the scale to feet. I'm going to put my estimate at 230 feet. The installation height of the APs at 8, and that's going to get imported. I've been told that my video is about to end, so that was just showing you how this happens, and you can see that that bitmap is in there, and the video is going to end in a second. Thank you very much.